The number one reason why most people do not become successful is because they got something to run back to.
Safety
You'll
net.
never put your all into something if you got somewhere to run to. That's how it works.
And that's probably why I ain't give nothing my all, like my 100%, because I feel like I got that safety
Because
net. Like,
you 1 foot in, you 1 foot out. Yeah, like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. But in the back of your head, yeah, if this don't work. But if you didn't have a place to run to, I promise you,
You work your ass off.
Your whole being will change. You will turn into a dog.
I told y'all quit y'all job. I told y'all that shit. Anybody want to listen to me?
I got too much kids.
But now.
all right, welcome back to another episode of the Bro Chat. An episode, a show where we could talk about just regular, casual, everyday things, like funny topics. Man, we just had a whole conversation about freaking top 5 dead or alive. We talk about hip hop beefs and stuff like that. Like, yo, listen, we got a live show today. No book up, I go by the name Eli. As always, we got Ace with us.
Yes, indeed. It's your boy Ace. Nobody greater. Holla at me later. We talking about acres, you heard?
Okay, last but not least, we got Jew.
Boss. Yeah, that's boss.
Sound like.
I gotta do some cat in the hat shit. You know what I'm
Give us some Boosie badass bars, right? Yeah.
Ow, I don't know what Boosie say. Man, what it do? It's your boy Jew. We out here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shout out to the crew, you heard?
Listen, the next guests that we got are, visionaries behind the movement of what it means to redefine legacy from securing undervalued land to, farming. These guys is like on point with it, man. We got, the Acre Boyzz with us. Fellas, let them know a little bit about y'all and how y'all guys got to like started and stuff like that.
For sure. So basically, if we take it back, like I'm gonna say about 9 years ago, we first thing I always say to anybody is seek mentorship first, right? Because if you don't have any reference point for doing something on a high level, it's going to be very hard for you to execute, right? So that's the number one thing we tell anybody when they say, "What's the cheat code?" Find somebody who's already done it. You come into the ecosystem and you replicate the process, right? So we started looking for mentors because we knew we didn't know, and we came into an industry called land investing. We started off doing what is called tax deed investing, and then eventually scaled ourselves up to what is called our director-owner philosophy, which I'm quite sure we'll get into as we move forward.
Okay. All right.
And I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Ray. That's Jay. Clearly, we are the Acre Boyzz, and we're your favorite land investors, Acre Boyzz. Over the years, 9 years later, we've completed over 500 land transactions. We have taught over thousands of mentees how to take advantage of these practices and this skill set and go out and earn a living for yourself.
Shout out to y'all. Can I borrow acres?
Well, we can get into it later, but we give away acre land all the time.
Oh, word?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely get it.
Fuck out of here. Fuck that. I asked for it.
Rock, paper, scissors, that shit. Like, listen, before we get into, we're going to get into all the land things, but, I do kind of want to touch on a bit of black men's mental health and kind of like topics concerning black men. My first topic that I do want to ask, I want to ask everybody this. Do we actually make safe space for men to struggle? Like, and I want to start here with the fellas over here. What's your thoughts on that?
Safe space for men. I don't think we do. We talk about it all the time how it's a burden that you take on when you born as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been tough for you from birth to you becoming an adult. You gotta take care of the family. Like you gotta take care of your loved ones. You gotta take care of your kids, all that. It's no. I don't think you get off days. You know what I'm saying? If you take a day off and somebody don't eat, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a burden that you carry throughout life. I don't think it's a safe space for you to like fall back unless you know what I mean, you end up finding that partner that holds you down. You know what I'm saying? Or you got like a good core system. But other than that, I mean,
Jew, what's your thoughts?
I agree with Ace wholeheartedly. The only thing is too, I just think that if we continue to follow that, like it ain't gonna change. We gotta make that change. You get what I'm saying? So if you don't switch that pattern up, that's gonna be life for you, your son, his son. You get what I'm saying? Like we gotta start, switching that up, that mindset. Stop accepting that lifestyle for us. You get what I'm saying? Like what you're saying is true. I'm not taking nothing away from it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if we continue to be like, yo, this is what men gotta do, fuck that. I ain't accepting that. I'm not taking that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need more. I want more. I want to feel good. I want to feel like, my whole life is, revolved around what I provide. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm just talking like financially. I want to enjoy my life while providing. It's two different things. You know what I'm saying? So, sure.
Jay, what's your thoughts? Do you think we provide men a safe space to struggle?
Absolutely not. I think most men suffer in silence, for sure. And the reason why I say that is because, remember, if y'all grew up anything, I'm quite sure we grew up similar, right?
Yeah.
What were you taught? Be a man, don't cry, hold it on your back, all of these different things. But what we didn't understand what was happening at the time, that trauma was being installed. And I heard you say it too, which is very, very important. The kids that are under us, they're going to rinse and repeat the same thing that you've seen done. So that's why I talk about years of trauma get handed down from generation to generation because one person doesn't ask a question. It's a child always asks this question. And if you grew up like how we grew up, they be like, don't ask any questions. You do as you're told.
For sure.
And the answer is, and the question is, why? And you know what most of them said when they couldn't understand it? They said, because I said so. But that's not an answer. You know what I'm saying? That's not an answer. So yeah, I believe that most men suffer in silence. We holding on a lot and holding down the family, all of these different things. And most times there's no safe space for a man to even go ahead and express his feelings, because if you say it to whoever the woman you with, depending on who you with, it may look at you a little different. So it just depends. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so I got a different spin on it.
Okay.
All right. Do we create a safe space for men to struggle? I'm gonna agree with what everybody said, but I'm gonna just take it somewhere else and say that a struggle is a part of what defines what makes a man. Like, without no struggle, we ain't what are we standing on? Like, everybody that went through something and achieved something that was great. That's why when I came here, I asked how long y'all been doing the podcast, because we always say people only see the end, they never see the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So without no struggle, we ain't standing on nothing. There's no strong foundation. So just knowing and accepting that anything that's great is going to be a struggle. It's always been that way. And for Black culture, we talking decades of redefining ourselves and proving people wrong and stuff like that. So is it a safe space? Culturally, there's no safe space for Black people to struggle, first and foremost. So it's not just men, Black culture, there's no safe space for us to struggle. So we have to really take the bull by the horn and be, which we've been doing year in and year out, decade, and for centuries now. We just been bouncing back.
So with that being said, you know that like most people's goal in life is to have like that generational wealth that they could pass down to their children.
For sure.
So that would alleviate the struggle for the next generations. So what's to be said for them?
Well, money doesn't alleviate struggle. Mindset does. You can give them all the money in the world, but if they ain't prepared, or if they don't have the knowledge and the tools on how to keep that going and keep the money growing, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you can lose money. Money have been lost. That's why they say when rich people, if they lose the money, they don't know how to get it back again already. Because that's just information, knowledge, and wisdom. Really is who have you become. That's what when you see us, it's not about that we do land. It's about who we had to become to drive the vehicle of land. All industries work. You could sell stocks. You could have a corner deli. It all works. It's the people that's in charge of it. Are you making it work? Why does your podcast work? Or how do you get a plaque from YouTube doing the podcasting, but the 38,000 other people that have YouTube channels, why aren't theirs working? Right? It's something that y'all did. And I can promise you that I can speak to it. And we meeting for the first time. I promise you that y'all was extremely consistent at doing the thing, and y'all was disciplined, and y'all never stopped.
For sure.
That is a fact.
100%.
I definitely agree with everybody on the panel. And I think this generation is kind of just getting out of that, even when we are defining masculinity now. Like, masculinity for Black men looked at really one way. Like, I think now we are exploring, what it is, we redefining what masculinity means.
Absolutely.
And I think, providing that safe space is important. But I do get why some men say it's tough to be vulnerable because, we got to show all the time. And women say, oh, a man could cry in front of me and stuff like that. But then we also have those same women be like, damn, if you cry in front of me, I might look at him a little different. Or if he get beat up, or if he if he get beat up defending my honor, you know, I might have a different level of respect for him. So that creates a whole different level of anxiety of something that we have to now worry about. Like, damn, I can be vulnerable, but I can't be too vulnerable. Then it depends on what too vulnerable looks like to a woman. For sure. You know what I mean? You crying one time could look like, damn, like he not really the leader that I thought he was. Like, you know, these are real things that men have to internalize, and then that's what is causing us to bottle all these emotions up. And you don't know how that's going to come out in the future. Like whether that could be physically, like, you know what I mean? Whether that could be just, you know, depression, like drinking, smoking, drug, like whatever the case is, to try to cope with, you know, all of these, you know, the stresses that we deal with, that we just are taught just to take it on, like, pause, like take it on the chin, like, because you just said that earlier, like, you know what I mean? So I think now.
I was quoting J. Cole, not myself.
So I think now we are starting to get into a space where, you know, it's being more accepted to have that, be more open to having that safe space in our community. For and sure. I do want to get to, this kind of leads me to the next topic about, you know, what does, you know, when we talk about black men, talk about that brotherhood, like what does brotherhood look like to you guys, and what does that entail, like for you guys? What does that mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like, if you can't tell, you know, we're partners, right? You know, it's one thing. See, when you're trying to do something on your own, right?
Yeah.
You can feel like you on an island by yourself, and you know, I might be having a good day, he might be having a bad day, but it balances each other out. Because here's what happens, right? When you start going on your journey or whatever the case may be, it is imperative to have what I call a support team, support structure. Because if you don't have that, it's so easy for you to spin off at the rails doing all kind of things. But if you have that system in place, we talk about systems, right? Business people, right? SOPs, standard operating procedure. That's what it is. If you have those things set in place, it's easy for you to keep on the right track, and only because there's a system in place in order for you to do so. And so that's what brotherhood looks like. I mean, it's checking the other person when they're wrong in business, you know, personal life, all these different things. And that's what brotherhood look like to me.
Well, to me, I think, and me and him talk on a daily basis, I view all relationships the same. Only difference between a man and a woman relationship from a guy and a guy's relationship is just that we ain't fucking. Yeah, that's the difference. And I believe all relationships, to me, are built on the same principles: loyalty, love, and respect. And once we keep those lines intact, relationships tend to thrive if we don't cross those boundaries. So when I think of brotherhood, it's somebody I wholeheartedly trust, somebody that I know that's holding me down even when I'm not around. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody that's not jumping in the conversation if somebody's slandering my name, and just because I'm not there. Like one of my closest homies, you can't say anything bad around him. He'll just politely stop you and say, "Yo, that's my man.
Let me
You
stop
can't
you
talk
there."
around me."
Right.
Feel how you feel about him, but just, you can't do it around
Not to me.
So that's brotherhood for me. It's, you know, when it comes to business, it's somebody that's gonna be there on a daily basis, that's gonna show up on a daily basis. It's somebody that's, let's just have a real conversation. It's somebody that's not gonna be dipping in the pot, stealing from the pot. Sure. That's why we always crash and burn, because the higher we go, egos come into place. It's hard to have anything more than two, typically is a monster. So I applaud y'all if it's y'all three, because egos come into place, and then, you know, people start ego tripping. Like, oh, you getting more popularity than me. Oh, why is your cut bigger than this one? Oh, I'm doing more talking than you do the talking, and shit just tends to go astray. So
that's why
me and him,
you never see groups last too long. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I applaud, like, you know, the Locks. I always look up to the Locks, because you know they
manage to keep it together.
They keep it together.
The only group.
I ain't never seen them really get into it like publicly. Like, I'm pretty sure they get it behind the scenes, but they still got that brotherhood. You can see it every time they're around each other.
That's sad that we have to point out the Locks that's had a 30-year career. Like, it's sad that we can only pinpoint one group that survived that. That's
the other groups I'm thinking about, they have more than three. So it's like, damn, that's, you know, like you said, the ego started to get in the way. Like, you know what I mean? So fellas, you know, how important is brotherhood, and what does that look like for y'all?
Brotherhood is very important, man. Like I said, like, there's not many people that you could confide in without that judgment. You know what I'm saying? You being weak, because they understand that place you're coming from. And to me, it's like when you have no doubt. Like, it got people that I call, and it's like no doubt in my head what the answer is gonna be at the end of this conversation. You know what I'm saying? And they know that it's the same for me.
For sure.
Like, I always say that relationships should be mutually beneficial. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Absolutely.
10,000%.
100%.
Yeah, and everybody that I consider my brother is because I know anything I would do for them, they would do for me. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
So yeah.
Yo, man, you guys hit the shit on it now. The only thing I would also add is just that brotherhood is like life for men, right? And the reason why it's like the thing, like you have to have a brother, like you get further. I come from a single mother household, right? I learned how to be a man from having brothers. You get what I'm saying? Like we learn from each other. We hold each other accountable. Like that part, I be with you be a sassy ass motherfucker if you know what I'm saying. You just in the house with women all day. I'm no judgment. You get what I'm saying? But I'm saying like having a brotherhood. Yo, like because I remember like not even wanting. I'm gonna keep it real. Like I wasn't like a kid that wanted to wrestle or anything like that. But I got around men that I felt comfortable that were my brother. You get slapped shut. You know what I mean?
You never slap box with your home?
None of that shit, bro. But and then when it happened, it was like, nah, I'm fighting for real. But I couldn't understand that in the brotherhood, we sharpening each other. We making sure you know how to handle yourself. It wasn't about embarrassing you. But a lot of men that you reacting with feelings because you wasn't around men. You get what I'm saying? So
That's a good point.
that thing you learn from having that brotherhood, it builds you as a man. It teach the importance of masculinity or what a man is or a definition of, and we love our women, but we need to be around men, to be better men. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Listen, don't say that to sit out on the with the panel of women. They're gonna say that's sassy. Like, you know what I'm saying? The next topic I want to get into, when you think about masculinity, because that's a term that society been using a lot, especially nowadays. When you think about masculinity, do you think survival or do you think purpose?
I'm gonna say purpose. And the reason why I'm gonna say purpose is because everybody is built in with certain talent, skills, ability, all of these different things. And I feel that if you're not going to your highest potential to accomplish those things, I think it's like Nipsey said, either find your purpose or you're wasting it.
You're wasting it.
That's it. That's really what it is. Right. Who wants to spend time existing where you could be living? That's why you see a lot of people are frustrated every day because it's like Groundhog Day. Every day is the same way. But the reason why it's the same way, because they refuse to do anything that's different. Input, control, output. All the time. If the current version of us right now is responsible for our results, that means if you don't like them, you have to change them. Yeah. That's what it is. And just like the old people used to say, if you point the finger at somebody else, there's always three fingers pointing back. So really, it's you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely purpose for me. You got opportunity, man. We just have to take advantage of it. From everything that we spoke about right now, it sounds like we just saw environments is going to control our actions, and environments is going to control how we move. Environments is going to control how we think. Can you outdo or beat the environment? That's extremely hard to do.
Very challenging.
Right? Very challenging to do. Some have done it, but 95% of the people are going to fall victim to whatever environment that they're placed in. So surrounding yourself around like-minded people and people that's going somewhere and moving with purpose. That's why they say you show me 5 successful people and you hang around them, you'll be the sixth one, just by law of being around that type of environment. So that's why these days it's really just me and him locked in. Like when we start doing what we did, we offered this to some of our closest friends, and nobody took the journey.
It's like the Ace. What's your thoughts?
I think it's definitely purpose. Like I said, as a man, it is a burden, but it is what it is at this point. I mean, I know I got people I need to take care of, and that's my purpose in life, to be successful. Make sure my mother could one day tell that job to fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got sisters, I got nieces that I know gonna need that figure, that logic in their lives. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a fact.
And if I do have children one day, you know what I'm saying, hopefully, you know, that it'll pass on to them. So it's definitely
you just getting up there in age.
you right there, bro.
Like, you
It's
right
there,
like,
bro. Like, yo.
Like, yo.
It's a couple months difference, bro. Like,
It's not a couple of months. It's like it's a whole year. Like, I mean,
how old are you?
Well,
listen, I ain't gonna say.
listen, I got kids, and I'm gonna tell you, you ain't gonna get pregnant. You ain't gonna get shorty pregnant by eating her ass. So you gotta do something.
Oh, you talking about Ace? Like, oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Who you talking to?
You gotta go to the other hole.
Who you talking Who you talking to?
I got kids.
Who you talking to?
I'm talking to the dudes that ain't got no kids out there. You get what I'm saying? You gotta do something else. It's the other one. All right?
But according to your girl, I mean, that's how you got all them kids from eating ass.
Never. Never eat that. Never eat it.
She said you think I'd push out all them kids if you weren't eating this booty? That's what she said, bro. Like, did she say that?
Never.
No, my bad.
I'm trying to be mature here. I'm trying to give y'all
Some advice, some strong advice, man.
Yo, what's your thoughts, man? Like,
Yo, as much as I want to, I agree that it is purpose, right?
Right.
But I want to like think about reality in society, right?
Yeah.
I think we ignore as much as purpose should be our goal and reason why we want to be men and understand masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of dudes that it ain't their reality as much as they want to say it, because we got young dudes out here willing to pull out a gun instead of throwing their hands. Mm-hmm. We got robbing, hurting, doing stuff out of intimidation, peer pressure, all these things that's just not purpose. It's not our real life, not our goals, not our ambition. Everybody want to be what the next person want to be. Everybody want to follow somebody else's dream just because he got on. That ain't purpose. As much as we want to lean on that, I just think that, for the guys that, is on that line trying to figure it out, make it be your purpose. You know what I'm saying? Don't let it be your fear or your insecurity. That's all.
Unfortunately, I think in today's society, I think a lot of men look at masculinity as survival. And I think even women too, because a lot of times we have the women on the show, they keep saying they gotta be masculine because they pay the bills. So they associate masculinity with survival. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think,
okay, great point.
Yeah, so I think a lot of men are doing the same thing. Like it's great. I was having a conversation with one of my homeboys earlier today, and we were around the same age, and he was just like,
what age is that?
30s and stuff like that. So we were around the same age, and we was having a conversation about him just now trying to figure out his purpose. And I understood where he was coming from, because I felt like I was in survival mode. Like I was good at paying bills. I was good at like you going to work. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just now developing a sense of purpose, like at my age, like because before it was just survival, like, you know what I mean? So that's all I knew. So I didn't have those people around or that figure around to tell me like, yo, you got to focus more on your purpose. Now I'm looking at my little brothers and I'm trying to instill in them like, yo, have a purpose, because I see a lot of men that are not living in their purpose, and I see what happens when you don't live in your purpose. You just go through life, like, you know what I mean?
You drift.
Yeah, you just waiting for something to happen. Like you just waiting for somebody to hit the lottery or some shit like that. You're not living purpose.
You get influenced by the dumb shit.
Exactly, like, you know what I mean. So like I'm trying to instill into them like, yo, like make sure you're thinking about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I ain't saying you
how
gotta
do you think
it.
they're receiving that message?
It's tough because they YNs, like, so, you know what I mean? So, like,
I think
they
improving
get
slowly.
it. Yeah, because I'm constantly repeating it. So the first time it's in one it, but then now I'm constantly, so I'm just
like, yo, what's up? This nigga preaching now?
You trying to kick knowledge?
I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to sprinkle the seeds of this, the ideal in their head, because now it's going to resonate with them. Like, you know what I mean? It might not pop up today. They might not have dances today, tomorrow, but it's going to slowly resonate with, like, yo, this is what E was talking about, purpose. Like, let me like focus more on that. So, you know, I do think more men need to start figuring out their purpose. And I'm not saying it's an easy thing. You don't just wake up one day and be like, damn, what is my purpose? Like, you know, that is a very deep and thought-provoking question within yourself that you gotta dive deep in within yourself to find that, like, what is your purpose? Like, you know, some people might say supporting their family, but that could be also survival. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not a real purpose, or that's just survival. You just want your family to survive, or whatever the case is. Like, you know what I mean? So
let me ask you a question. Do you think that as human beings we complicate things that shouldn't be complicated?
For sure. I think that's in our nature. Like, for sure. Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm gonna give an example, right? Yeah. Our mentor told us before, we're asking, like, what are we supposed to do different things like that. He said, let me tell you how easy it is. What are the things that you're good at that are naturally hard to other people? That's your gift. He said, this is not as hard as you think. But as human beings, because we got so much information coming from everywhere, we overcomplicate everything, and everything does not need to be complicated.
It's also hard because especially when you haven't, and that's why, Jew, I always give him his props of being a father. Like, his kids explore a lot of different passions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that he never got to do as a kid. So he's giving his kids, like, you know what I'm saying, a chance to explore different things. Like, me growing up in high school, like, podcasting wasn't even a thing, like, you know what I'm saying? So you couldn't even told me, like, damn, content creation was a thing. Like, I couldn't even figure out that was my purpose at that time because it didn't even exist. Like, you get what I'm saying? So it's hard to say, it's easy to say, what's something that you're good at, and that could be a purpose, but maybe a purpose hasn't even been invented yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what the future is going to, like, you know what I'm saying?
It's possible, for sure. But going down that road, that journey, it's like, people say, go as far as you can see. When you get there, you'll see further. You have to start. Even if you deviate from that plan, you have to start. Yeah. Because you'll never have another vision if you stay in the same spot. You know what I'm saying?
Look, y'all also mentioned that because we was talking about earlier, and we was talking about like eras, and you guys are from like a different era, right? And I don't think purpose is promoted in our era, right? I think it's more violence or,
survival. Because they doing the violence.
Or, willing to sell
you know what I'm saying? Like,
do you guys think, when did you guys, find your purpose? Was it, in y'all YN stages, or was it maturity, or maturity was already promoted, in y'all lives growing up?
When we start talking about purpose, right, it's very personal for one. What we should focus on is, as men, is being successful. There's a recipe to it, and it works for across the board, right? We're not taught. As young men, we're not taught to have the ability to focus on anything long term. We're not taught how to be disciplined and stick with one thing. And that's why purposes, we keep deviating from one thing. It's podcasting this month, it's music this month, because we're not taught to be disciplined. All things work, right? And we're not taught to have faith. We're not taught to pray. We're not taught to stand on anything. So these are all the principles and laws of success. Like, that's what we should be teaching. That's why I applaud you that you even implanting the seed into your nephews and your brothers and things like that. Because I used to coach. I coach high school basketball. And they may not hear it, but they heard it. You understand what I'm saying? And it may not resonate today, but if you never implanted it into them, then they'll never know that that's a thing, or what to do or what not to do. So, like, that's why I said environment. If you're in an environment and everybody just doing the things that you name, holding guns and acting a fool, you're going to fall victim to the environment, because you don't have... Nobody even spoke to you to tell you that, forget AI, like, human intelligence is stronger than AI, but we're not taught to use our brain. Like, so you understand what I'm saying?
That ass.
We taught to do what the environment does.
That environment is so key with everything, because almost like if you come from a certain place, it's almost like you almost have to die to the self that you are to become the person that you was meant to be. Because when somebody gives you a statement, right? This is one of the things our mentor told us. Now, we've never heard anything like this before, but you need somebody who's been places that you haven't been in order to shake you up and to basically train you to different thinking. He told us it's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little bit of money over a long period of time. I never heard nobody say anything even remotely close to that before. And why was he able to say that? Because he makes large amounts of money in short period of time. He said everybody knows how to make money. Everybody walking knows how to make money. But most people make it so slow they never feel it.
And if you know how to do
it's
it,
different. You would have did it. That's a fact. That's just a fact.
Only reason people don't make $100,000 a month is because they don't know how to. They all desire to.
I was thinking the other day, because, when we have the bro chats, I'm just trying to think of some like topics that everybody can relate to.
Sure.
And one of the topics I had, and this is not for a show, this is what I was thinking. I was like, what's one thing that you have given your 100% to? You know what I mean? And I had to think about myself, like, and I'm like, damn, I never gave 100%. Like, I'm always spread thin across everything. You know what I'm saying? Like you said. So I'm like, damn, like, I never actually sat down and gave something my all 100%. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, that was just something I was just thinking about.
I'll tell you what I'm not telling my age, but we're in our 40s, and we're just getting to the point to where we all in, where this has to work or this has to work.
That's a fact.
We're just getting to that point because my environment had me scatterbrained. You understand what I'm saying? I wanted what most people want. I want it quick. I want it fast. And anything that you get fast usually ain't worth having. We talk a lot about money. Like we use the acronyms EKG, earn it, keep it, grow it. Everybody's figured out how to earn money, but nobody taught us how to keep it and how to grow it. So if we was taught these things, we would probably be doing these things. So for me, that environment, breaking that mentality, 100% came later on in life. If you study wealth, you'll find that they say the most millionaires usually happen when they hit the age of 40. Because typically age of 40, that's when you're done with the bullshit.
All the bullshit out.
You know what I'm saying? I'm done
yeah.
chasing women. I'm done partying. I'm done having a good time. Shit start to be serious at that point. Unfortunately for us in Black culture, now I have accumulated this lifestyle that doesn't allow me to be 100% in everything because we have kids, we have bills, we got rent, you got you understand what I'm saying? You got job and all of that. So we're taught backwards. We're going in reverse. I have to, like, money comes in now, it has to go up and it has to go back. I have to take care of people back here. I got to take people moving forward. It's not supposed to be that way. But it's in reverse for us. So, you know, the best thing that you could do is what you're doing, is giving it to your little brothers, your little sisters, and hopefully they get it earlier than what we got it.
Listen, I do want to, switch topics, switch gears. Because, like, they talked about mentorship right now. Right now, y'all mentors, right? You don't know nothing about land. Like, you don't buying land, none of that. So I want y'all to treat us, like we students. Because we don't know nothing about it. We going to ask the questions. We going to learn.
Don't act like we all sure. I'm a student.
Yeah, we going to take notes. Like, you know what I mean? So the first topic I got is, how do people actually find good land, and how do you know when it's a good deal worth touching?
When you're looking for land and you're trying to discern whether the property is good or not, first, we just don't look for land, we look for undervalued land, right? And the reason why we want it undervalued, because every piece of property we don't actually keep. So in order for the deal to make sense to us, it has to have equity inside of the deal, right? So if we're buying something undervalued for $50,000 and it's worth $100,000, that means built in it has $50,000 worth of equity inside of that one transaction, right? So facts is how we actually do that. So basically what we built up is a system, an acronym that we do our due diligence on every single property to make sure that we're buying the right piece of dirt. And that's called facts, FAACTS. For all y'all, we know it's 2 A's inside of there, but it's for a reason, right? First thing is the F, you want to know if that property is located in a flood zone or not, right? If the property is located in a flood zone, it's probably not buildable, right? The A stands for access. You want to know that that property has access coming directly from the road. If the property doesn't have access, that means that it's probably landlocked and you may not be able to access it, legally access the property, right? The other A is adjacent. What is it looking like inside the environment? Because usually that's a telltale sign of what we can do with the property. The C stands for comps. Comps is going to be how much is the property worth? Like I said, undervalued for 50, worth 100. That's how you're going to know there's equity inside of that deal. Topography, that's where you actually go ahead. What are the natural or unnatural attributes to that property that make it desirable to a buyer? Could be a lake, man-made lake, whatever the case may be, and make it desirable. And the S stands for slope. You got to understand whether that property has a huge slope on it, because if it does, we won't buy it if it's a smaller lot, because it's going to take you to fill that property up with dirt in order to make it a buildable lot. There you go. So that's basically any property that comes in, that's how you're going to find out whether the property is a good enough deal for you to actually deal with or not.
All right, so you're spanking brand new. You don't know anything about the industry. That's why we say everyone has had a first day. Right. 9 years ago just happened to be ours. We knew nothing, never even heard of the industry. We were just on our journey looking to make money, like most young Black guys are. How can we make some money? A guy taught us, or said to us, I'm gonna teach you about tax deed properties. Tax what? Tax deed properties. Unbeknownst to us, unbeknownst to most people in our culture, this is a thing that has been going on for a long time. So I would always say, if you're spanking brand new, I would say start there. For this reason is because it's readily available, for one, and what it is, it's a tax sale auction. And to break that down is everyone knows that if you own a house or if you own a piece of land, if you own a property, you're responsible for paying taxes on the property. Every year, a vast majority of the population, they don't pay their taxes. And when they don't pay their taxes, the county, the state, or the local municipality, they'll put a lien on the property. Eventually, they'll foreclose on it, and then they'll become the owner again. But counties are not in the business of owning properties. Counties are in the business of collecting tax-paying dollars. This is how every county functions across America. There's 3,200 counties. They all function the same way. They collect tax-paying dollars. This is how you have your sanitation departments. This is how you have your libraries, your school budgets, and all of that. So it's vital that they get these properties back into the ecosystem, into an owner's hands, so they can pay taxes. So when they have a tax sale auction, they'll offer it to the public. This is not for like special people. This is to anybody that wants to participate. We just are unaware that these auctions happen all through the year. So we tell young people especially, look, you got $1,500. Don't go and buy a watch or sneakers. Go buy a piece of land. Flip that land. Because right now, I could show you where you could buy land for $1,500 and sell it back in 2-3 months for $6,000, for $8,000. And that's happening in my community now. Now you can go and buy sneakers, whatever else you want. Go flip another piece of land. That's why, like, I tell young guys, like, you got a hustler's mentality. If you was a dope boy, then just flip this. It's the same thing. Flip a piece of land, put the money back in, go get another piece, and so on and so forth. Because it's always an auction going on. Always, all year long.
Like in New York specifically, would that be actual properties or is that actual land?
Auctions offer both. They offer houses and they offer land.
And in the tax deed properties you talking about, you just paying the taxes.
Each auction works different. Like that's why you have to know the rules of engagement. That's what we tell people first. You got to know each auction that you pull up to, what their rules are. They all are different. Each one is different. Okay. So if the back taxes are, let's just say $1,000, some of them have a set price to where they say, make me a blind offer. Some of them have a set price that say this is the minimum bid. Some of them do an eBay style to where we're all familiar with eBay, where they'll set a low price and they'll open it to the public and they'll let them bid, and the highest bidder when the time runs out will get the property. It's all different forms of auction. What we've done is we've been able to invest virtually, meaning that we don't go see properties. We don't go to the auction. We just sit behind a computer and we do what they call online auction. And that's called a repository list. We wait for it to go through an in-person auction. Whatever doesn't sell at the in-person auction, it'll hit the repository list or the online auction. Now we can sit behind a computer, and this is how we buy land everywhere without being nowhere.
Y'all said that you only buy properties that are worth more than they're selling for. How do you know like the value of the property and how much? Well, I guess you can see how much it's selling for, but how do you know the value? Like,
for sure. So basically what we're going to do is we find any undervalued property, right? We're going to take a website like Zillow. I'm quite sure you heard of that, right?
Yep.
Zillow's a website. So what we'll do is we'll look in that area. You can type in that actual zip code, and let's just say if it's a half an acre that we're dealing with, right? Basically what we're going to do is go online and see what the half an acre lots are selling for inside of that area. That is going to give you and show you exactly what they're going for inside that area, and that's where you'll find the margin at right there.
Gotcha.
Okay. Like somebody, y'all wheels spinning.
No, look, I got a million questions. I'm just interested. It's fascinating. Like, so you said the auction. That's the way. You said the online thing. That was confusing me because, you know, when I'm thinking about an auction, I'm thinking about car auctions and like whatever the case is, and you need to you got to go and make sure the car is, you know, valid before you pay for it. So when you say you're doing the auctions online, you don't even go see the actual land or whatever the case is. How do you determine if that land is like, you know, got the facts or whatever the case is, and like do y'all using Google Maps or something to see if they have access to the property and stuff like that? Yeah,
there's a system that we use called a GIS map, right? A GIS map stands for Geographic Information System. Now, let's say we're in Arkansas somewhere, right? We're going to type in Arkansas in there. Now, there's also another thing that you're going to have to type in. It's called the APN number. And that's basically like that's a parcel number for every property, right? Once I put those two things in there, plus the county, only thing I have to plug it in there, and it'll take me exactly to that property. Now I can evaluate that property from a digital standpoint, and I never actually have to be there. That's when I was just going through the facts and all of that kind of stuff. That's exactly how we do it. And that's why he was saying we could be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. See, if we had to be bound to a certain market and fly, whatever the case may be, I'd be limited to the deals I could do. Now I could be in Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, all over the place, because this is all digital. The guy who taught us this, if you was to see him, he did $400 million in 30 years doing the same business that he taught us. And he's never seen the properties, probably about 2 of them.
Just the idea of doing things digital, I'm thinking about, first thing came to my mind, like, I'm scared because you hear about like the guys like, I don't know if y'all know who the C's dude is that was with Envy.
Oh, I know you talk about, I know you talk about,
like digital, like hell no, because you just think that people, not to say like somebody's smarty, but it's a hustle. People will manipulate you, and you know what I'm saying, like, where do you think you will be the starting level of finding the information to, start feeling comfortable with doing that?
I'll even say for us, right, as far as a trusted source, we didn't just jump out of the gym immediately, right?
Yeah.
We sat back and we watched. We watched testimonies, different things like that. So that's where you can get some kind of authority inside of your position, right? So I think that, when it comes to finding the right person to teach you anything, I think you just have to sit back and watch the individual and don't be too fast just to jump on something because it actually sounds good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And with the
I'm going to, go ahead, not to cut you off.
okay. And with the doing it digitally, is it something that you get better at as you go, or you can do it from the jump?
You get better as you go, for sure. I would say you get
Calling
better.
it out, right?
Yeah, for sure, because repetition, the mother of all learning. You're going to see things as you get better that you might not have saw in the beginning, right? It's like watching a movie, right? You may watch a movie the first time, but the third time you watch it, you start to see things that you didn't see on the first time. It's not because it's new. Your awareness is up.
Okay.
So now it's completely different. That's how I would say it. Yeah.
So did y'all have like bad buys in the beginning that taught you these lessons?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Okay.
I mean, you don't get good at anything before being bad.
100%.
And that's the problem, is that people don't want to be bad long enough until the break comes to get good.
Okay.
People tap out before it's, you can't poke it with a stick. You got to be 10 toes in, right? It's going to work if it has worked for centuries for other people, right? That's why I said it's just the vehicle, and who you have to become to drive the vehicle. This has proven over time to work. These are not new practices. Land ownership is only the cornerstone of all wealth building throughout the history for all cultures, not just Black culture. So these are not new practices. And when we start talking about land, you can't have nothing without a piece of it. This building don't exist if it's not sitting on a piece of land. So we all interacting with it unconsciously one way or another. We just found out that we can monetize it.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
What is some of the best way, or what are some websites or resources that people could look up to look into different available land across America?
First thing you need to identify is what kind of investor you want to be, because when it comes to auctions, in tax sale investing, there's 3 types of auctions. You have tax lien auction, you have tax deed auction, and you have what they call redemption auctions, right? So a tax lien auction, they'll pay you a percentage for buying the lien, paying the back taxes on it, and they'll pay you a percentage for being the lien holder. I don't tell new people or people who don't have a big budget to step into that world. And the reason being is, if you buy a lien for $5,000 and they're paying you 13% on $5,000, it's not a lot of money. So we tell people to focus on deeds, because that's the fastest way that you can get money from a piece of property to your bank account. So as I stated, I can show you tomorrow where you can buy a piece of land for $1,500, put it back on the market, wait for somebody to buy it and sell it, and turn that $1,500 to $5,000, $7,000, $8,000. Then you rinse and repeat it. So first you have to know what kind of investor that you want to be, and that all starts with the education. And because we have so many people that come into our space that didn't have the education, and you might lose on the deal. Now they feel discouraged because they didn't have the proper training and all of that stuff.
Are you guys particularly looking at locations where they're doing like development in like a new community, or would you say even if it's like a location that's already, you know, developed?
Our major selling property is rural vacant land, right? So us all being from New York or whatever the case may be, and looking at like properties around here,
slim.
whatever the case may be. But that's not where you're going to find deals unless you have major money, right? So when we go to these rural markets, like again, like we said, we're able to do this digitally. When we go to these rural markets, it's completely different. Most people think when they think of a piece of land, they think of putting a house on it. That's what most people think. But our biggest selling land is recreational property. Hunting, fishing, camping, RVing, four-wheeling, all of those different kind of things. And these are nice-sized properties, 10, 20, 30 acres or whatever the case may be. What we would call in the boondocks, those properties out there are selling just as fast as properties around here, but most people have no idea that it's going on. Because this is why we always call the land business is an industry that's been hidden in plain sight. It's always been there, but most people don't know how to monetize land. Everybody's aware of stocks, crypto, Forex, all of these different things, but most people don't know how to actually monetize land for sure.
And that's a topic that I wanted to get into as well. Like, you know, obviously people think about land, they think about, oh, I'm gonna build a house, I'm gonna build this. Like I know you mentioned some other ways to monetize land, but what are some examples that for people that's watching, like how else can they buy land and monetize on it without necessarily just building properties and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. I'll do one, and he can hit the other. There's a website out there called HipCamp, HIPCAMP, right? So basically what people do on there is they buy rural land, 2 acres, 3 acres, 4 acres, 5 acres, and that website is an Airbnb for campsites, right? So what they're doing is they're renting small places, campsites, right? And they're getting residual income, and they're breaking it down to 10 to 15, 20, and people are going there renting out those spaces. Because you got to remember, there's a whole demographic of people who like roughing it, who like camping, doing different things like that. Now keep in mind, you almost didn't do anything with it. It almost has no infrastructure whatsoever.
In their pocket, yeah.
And on top of that, for bathrooms, they got porta potties out there. What porta potties cost? So basically what you're doing, you're not talking about erecting a building or anything like that. You're monetizing just based off of the dirt. Now let me hit another one.
Okay.
All right, so let's just teach. So first and foremost, land consistently gains appreciation. That's why when you see rich people, you hear Oprah Winfrey, and she owned 800 acres in Hawaii. Why do you need 800 acres? She's not building. She's not doing anything with the land. On the next level, what the elite do, they know that this is a safe space for money, to park money, because it always just appreciates and goes up in value. See, this game is played. They don't want us to know or participate in certain things. So I'm gonna just give you a whole, if I could. Go ahead. We mentioned tax bought properties. That's what we call entry level investing. Like our largest plot of land that we bought was 260 acres, and that's a whole nother ball game outside of tax sale investing. And when we come from these urban and city environments, we're taught not to, or we're taught to frown on those environments, those rural markets. We taught that mobile homes, that's like for poor white trash and things like that. But that's where everyday people can jump in and make a ton of money off of these things. That's why he said our number one selling product is recreational product. Then our number two selling product is mobile home use land. It sells like hotcakes. Why? Because it gives those people in those markets an opportunity to have housing for a discounted price, right? And everybody's looking for a cheaper way of living. And only the people in the city areas, we're afraid to go out there because we've been conditioned to live this way our whole lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? But those people in those markets, that's where the money is. They take New York City, for example. We can't stuff anymore inside of this city.
That's
There's
why
no
trying to
land.
expand. They trying to expand Manhattan and fucking add land to Manhattan and shit like that. Yeah.
There's nothing left here to do it. So now we would have to go on the outskirts if you wanted to buy in New York. If you was looking for large acreage, you got to go upstate.
Yep.
I use Atlanta as the prime example. They don't want you. This is how the game is played. This is the breakdown of the game. You see the lights, New York City lights. Oh, this is where everybody want to be. Why? You ever ask yourself why, when it comes to rural markets in rich neighborhoods, why they don't have lights out there? Have you ever paid attention to that?
I did.
There's no lights.
I live here.
But they don't got no. You got to build the infrastructure for the lights and stuff like that.
They purposely don't want.
Yeah, they don't want to be seen.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They don't want this.
Really
to be,
rich neighborhoods are dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not like, yeah.
Well, see, it goes deep. They're living on a different plane. You're supposed to go down with the sun first and foremost, right? We keep lights on. Now you're not getting the proper rest. Your body is not in tune
Spending more money.
with all of that stuff. That's a whole nother level.
The
But we
circadian
call this
rhythm
the
and shit
shiny.
like-
We call the city areas the shiny. Those slow areas, where do you think they're going next? They can't take Atlanta. Can you build any more in there? It's fully built out.
Yeah.
Where do they go next? They go to a rural market on the outskirts, right? The people that in the know, they're 5 years ahead of the people that don't know. They're buying vacant land in a rural market right now because they know that 5-10 years later, you have to come this way if you want to continue to build. And that's how you make all the big bucks as a land investor. Maricopa County, Arizona, 9 years ago when we got in this business, you could buy a piece of desert land, 15 acres, maybe for $20,000. Today, if you go on Zillow and type in Maricopa County, you're seeing that same land going for millions and millions of dollars. Why? Because AI needs a place to put the data
centers.
centers.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So with the mobile homes you was talking about, do they then pay you to park their mobile homes on your land now? Is that what
It
you
could be. It depends on. We just sell assets.
Or you can sell the land back.
We just sell the land to a buyer.
Okay.
If I was keeping the land and I wanted to rent it out to somebody to park their mobile home, I can do that. That's a whole nother play.
Okay.
But we usually flip. We call it land flippers. We usually flip what comes into our ecosystem. But it offers a duality of a plethora of ways to make money. You can hold on to it. You can rent it out. You can put it on hip camp, or you can flip it.
What's your guys' consideration on, buying land outside of the country? You think about stuff like, even like Jamaica, what happened over there. I'm pretty sure people are willing to sell just to, get out of their situation. Or you talking about all these other places, DR, PR, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it just a U.S. thing that, where success, or would it, because it's out there, it might be a little bit cheaper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So this business is based off of data, right?
Yeah.
And one of the main things that we see when we look outside to other places, like what you were talking about, access to data is not available as it is here. So it makes it harder to do it, right? We have the access to go ahead, if we're looking for 25 acres in whatever county, right? We can go ahead and pull that up and get every landowner inside of that county that owns 25 acres. A lot of places, when you go outside of the country, the access to data is not the same.
So you have to go there physically.
Yeah, it's a completely different thing. So this is why what we're doing right now is U.S. based currently.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
In my opinion on international land, it could be lucrative, but we just smart enough to know that if we can't lay eyes on our investment, we stay away from it. That's the only reason, because we've been offered a lot to do things internationally. And if you don't know the law of the land, you're running the risk of running into a problem.
Yeah, completely different out there in those different areas. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want, now that's something we would have to go to inside of this U.S. thing right here. I don't got phone. That's what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm on.
So would y'all say top of the food chain in y'all business would be the investors that are now buying land to sit and wait for the 5-10 years to when people have to now come and build? That would be like you reached like the boss. Like
it almost reminds me of stocks. Like, you know what I'm saying? You buy low and then you kind of sell high, and it's like kind of like the stock game.
Everything is a version of the same thing. All business is, fundamentally the same. Buy low,
for sure.
sell high. You know what I mean? So when it comes to like the land that we're dealing with, usually there's short-term flips that we're going after, and there's ones that are going to be a little bit more long-term. So when you talk about the short-term, that's what's going to give us that immediate capital, right? And because you got to have a provision that's going to allow you to wait. Because they said, a lot of people say, people who do flips on the front end, that's the soft money. But the real money is made off of the wait. But you have to have both in order to be able to function unless you got some revenue coming from somewhere else. So it has to be a combination of both when you're coming to do that. That's would be my opinion on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Tell us more about farming, like, you know, because I feel like that's something we don't look at. Well, at least us in the city. I know, and I've seen the South and stuff like Midwest. Farming is way more important and stuff like that. But over here, you look at somebody like, I got a farm. Like, you know, like what? Like, what you got a farm for? Like, you Cat Williams and stuff like that. So, how important is, you know, farming and, you know, especially teaching that skill to, you know, our community?
Farming is at the top of the food chain. If you study history, you'll find that this culture was thriving when we was most prevalent in land ownership and farming. I told a story that the reason why they pushed us to the north is because the land in the south is more suitable to farm because of the weather. It's nicer all year round. So that land is more suitable for farming. When we start to break down everything that comes with farming, you got tax benefits. At the top of the food chain, what people probably come to their mind is eating and controlling your food and eating healthy. And let's get to that because you really need to be figuring out what you're doing with your health and what you're doing with your farm. So we're not farmers per se, but we're smart enough that we partnered up with a farmer and he runs our Acre Boyzz farming program. And we teaching people how they can get started farming anywhere, even if you only can farm from your windowsill. If you live in an apartment building, you can farm in your back room from your windowsill. If you have a small yard, you can farm right from your small yard. So farming is very, very important. We have basically fell off the map when it comes to farming. We only like 1% of farmers across America now. So we have to it's a tough task. It's a tall task for us because how do we make this cool? Like, how do we make what we're talking about cool? How do we make this like we were having a topic about hip hop? How do we make people sit around and talk about, yo, man, I'm about to buy this land and you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z with it. So that's what the Acre Boyzz, that's been our challenge. And that's why when you see us, we come in and, you know, we got the hats and we're trying to urbanize this thing so people can say, all right, that makes sense because it truly does make sense. Because after all the hoopla dies, after all the music gets turned down, we're back to real life. And real life, this is something that everyday people could and should be participating in because if you own a piece of land, there's so many different things that we can do with it. We can open up businesses, right? Let's just say, what if y'all had your own piece of land and y'all can just take a tiny home? Y'all could probably build this with your own hands and put your own podcast in it. Then you don't have to pay nobody to rent a space.
For sure. And for our people, we all know this. It has to be sexy for our people to want to get involved. That's just the facts. We are visual people. That's just what it is.
That is a fact.
And that's why when we came to social media, we didn't know how the message was going to actually resonate. That's why we did things with like Young Jock. We did things with like Ray Daniels, 19 Keys, all of these people, because this message resonates to a whole different audience. We've been on social media for about 2.5 years. In 2.5 years, we're at about, between all our social platforms, probably about 750,000 followers in 2.5 years. And I'm gonna tell you something, even right now, to this day, on Facebook, which turned into our major one, we're getting about 1,200 to 1,300 people a day and have been doing that for the past 6 months. So the message is resonating clear. It needed a face. It needed somebody to make it cool. And it's going to be one of the biggest things that people have ever... You won't be able to say land coming up very soon without saying Acre Boyzz. And that's what's going to be.
That's what's up.
For sure.
I see that.
For sure.
I had a topic about self-sufficiency and a trend that I've been seeing a lot online, especially on the TikToks and stuff like that, is the family compounds and stuff. Like a lot more people are, you know, trying to build up their own family compounds. Is that the future for our community, or is that just like a trend right now? What are your thoughts on that?
It can always be the future. Clearly, I think is definitely trending right now. See, when you get started in anything, you should probably do your homework on the market or the industry that you're stepping in. So when we stepped into this, we looked around. There wasn't a lot of representation, and it wasn't a lot of people even talking about family compounds. But whether it's trending and if it keeps trending or stop trending, that is something that's a real thing, and that's just something that we should be focusing on. I think it's a hell of an idea. I think it's smart. I think it brings family back together. You understand what I'm saying? I think 4 is better than 3. I think 2 people putting in one pot is better than one person adding to the pot. And once we get back to that, because that's what all that other cultures are doing. When we look at these major projects, skyscrapers, it's not one person that's investing in it. It's a group setting. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I always applaud. Like, I applaud y'all. Like, it's 3 brothers that's y'all on a whatever journey y'all on. Y'all locked in, and you're making it happen.
For sure.
It takes more than one to do something substantial and great. Like, you're going to need help, and people need to understand that. Like, we can take back land ownership 1 acre at a time, 1 property at a time, right? We don't have to be, renting our whole lives. You understand? Tiny homes is a real thing. These are prices that you can take your money, your job money, that's your investor, put a little to the side. You'll get there. Go get your piece of land. Go get you a tiny home.
You get it right on like Amazon now.
Yeah,
right?
you get a lot of things.
Yeah,
And if y'all
Walmart,
didn't know, New York just approved the ADUs, which is the accessory dwelling unit. So basically, they're gonna legally allow you to put a tiny home in the back of your house because of lack of housing. And you can rent that out as another. So now you can go ahead and take care of your mortgage with the price that somebody else is paying in your backyard.
So we just call it alternative ways of getting money.
For sure.
Until it's the main way.
I do want to ask the fellas, like, yo, would y'all build a family compound? Like, would you buy land and then everybody build their own house, like your family and stuff like that? Is that
Or do you not want to be too close to your family?
Nah, I've been telling them, because I just bought a house with my family. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We live on our own floors, not me separated. I've been telling them, like, yo, that's
Yeah,
the way to go.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
We all helping to pay the mortgage instead of paying somebody else's mortgage. You know what I'm saying? So I've been saying that's the way to go. I would definitely be interested in doing something like that, bringing the family closer. We were saying how there's no more barbecues, no more family reunions no more. So that would make it easy. You know what I'm saying? Yo, family reunion on Saturday. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Come outside. Like, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And that I remember you saying too, because space is so limited. You got a big ass family, everybody coming to one person house, so you're like, damn, you got a compound, all these acres of land, everybody could just pull it up.
I think Boozy got that too. Like,
For sure.
Definitely. We've seen his really, really nice. It's
crazy.
Really, really nice.
Yeah, Drew, what's your thoughts on that?
Yo, honestly, my whole, I got 4 kids. And I feel like the only thing I would do to feel accomplished is that I want to, before I leave this planet, give each one of my kids a house. Like, I don't want them to have to buy their house. I want to at least provide that. Sure. You get what I'm saying? But now, even hearing you guys, I'm like, fuck, I'm buying the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm struggling paying for the fucking one I'm in. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm thinking, like, damn, maybe I can make a different route. I could even, like, I'm hearing y'all. Like, I swear to God, like, I'm jogging this information down. I'm
Right.
Maybe I can invest in some land, give it to each kid, and in equity and time, they could sell it and buy their own motherfucking house. You get what I'm saying? So just like that, I'm already absorbing what you guys are saying. Like, I can't afford to get 4 kids a house. You know what I'm saying? I can't probably take.
You get them a tiny home.
I might have to buy the Barbie house or some shit, but motherfuckers ain't getting the real one. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm just school life and how stuff is getting so inflated. I'm listening to this like this is gold. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I could get each kid an acre, and who knows. I get 4 different locations. Shit, I get it right next to each other. They could build a house right next to each other. I'm just different things. But, man, I appreciate y'all for real.
For sure, 100%.
I don't think people really understand how big an acre of land is. Like, you know what I mean? Especially in New York, like we're not used to seeing like large land like that. Like, so you say an acre, like you go on Google Maps, like, damn, that's kind of big. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 10 acres, 40 acres, like that. You like, yo, that's a lot of land. Like, you know what I mean? So I think with me, me and my mom, we've been locked in. We like, yo, we want to build like a compound and be able to have everybody, live on this thing, because like Drew said, man, we are missing that community. Yeah. And that used to keep, especially for the Black community, that was our bread and butter. Like, you know what I mean? And we got so far away from the community, and like even a compound, like compound is amazing, but I'm like, man, we need to put our, like, black people in general, start putting our money, pulling our resources together, and we could just start go back to building our own communities again. Like, you know what I mean? I know in the South they have that and stuff like that, but we need to get more active about, you know, we always talk about Tulsa and Rosewood and Green, what is it? Was it Greenwood? Black Wall Street and all these places. And we like, yo, like, we get that was in the past, but we have the buying power. Like, you talk about black people in America, what is our buying power? Like
2.something trillion
a year. Like, you know, we got to stop begging politicians and begging. We have the resources. Like, you know what I mean? Instead of spending it on, you know, luxury cars and whatever, fast food, hair and sneakers and all this, like, we need to really pull our resources together and really get serious about, like, land ownership and stuff like that.
Well, that takes trust.
Yeah.
You know, he mentioned Caesar. See, when one bad thing happens, it takes us 10 steps back.
Yeah. Now you're like, damn, I can't trust nobody now. Like, now that's a fact. Like, so, you know, and I'm glad y'all got a platform where people, you know, you guys have been doing this. Like, you know, you got testimonies of people that can vouch for y'all.
For sure.
So, you know, that's dope.
But I do think there is a stain on us trusting each other, right?
Absolutely.
Like, let's be honest.
Sure.
I've watched a store, a black man own a store, right? And everybody was complaining, like, and this is like in Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? He had a store, and he didn't have like the vibrant shit that Aki had.
Right.
But that's because we wasn't in there buying what he did have.
That's the point. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like, we going to, there's an Aki on this go, they buying up all the land. You get what I'm saying? No disrespect to them. That's your hustle. But I'm saying like, we got to pour into the people that's building something in our community. Like, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate what you guys doing. But there's people that's just going to judge you based off, oh, they look like us. What they know. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Unintelligent mindsets.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying? We got to break that cycle as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because we young, just because, you know, we come from different backgrounds, same background, don't mean that you can't educate me on something I need to know.
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, all you can do is offer it for those that's willing to receive it. They say, you know, when the teachers, when what do they say?
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
The teacher will appear.
Yeah, for sure. So I do think that, you know, it's going to take some time to actually do that, to bring the trust back and all the different things. But the only thing like people like us can do is go ahead and set the example. Let's start with your immediate circle first.
Yeah.
When people start seeing things working, they start to flock to things that are always working. Just like you heard him say, we sent out a letter to everybody and we started what we was doing. Yeah. And crickets.
And now they like,
but
hey,
now,
bro.
everybody want on now.
I got that 1500, big bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Still that thing y'all was talking about.
So that's why we got to find our purpose and stay on our purpose. It just doesn't happen overnight. That's our biggest thing that we've learned about this. It's not about what we've done, it's who we had to become to continue to carry this torch. And that took a lot of getting rid of the old and bringing in the new, changing the mindset, discipline, consistency, doing something 7 days a week, 365, not 363.
Regardless of how you feel.
Yeah.
You know, going when you don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Like, even, you know, when the missus is complaining about certain things, this is what needs to be done. This is what we up against, you know. And sometimes you don't get that until you're on an island on your own, because, you know, through this, we fired our 9-to-5 jobs a long time ago. So this has to work, or this has to work. Or we don't, there's no
other option. This got to work or got to work.
You ever see what those ancient warriors used to do when they used to go into battle? And we frame this like out in business, right? Those ancient warriors, they used to go take a ship out to battle. They would never tell the people that they were going to battle with that they were outnumbered, right? But when they got there, mentality shift, right? When they got there, they told them they were outnumbered, and then they burned the ship. There's no way to retreat. The number one reason why most people do not become successful is because they got something to run back to.
Safety.
You'll never put your all into something if you got somewhere to run to. That's how it works.
And that's probably why I ain't give nothing my all, like my 100%, because I feel like I got that safety.
Because you 1 foot in, you 1 foot out. Yeah, like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. But in the back of your head, yeah, if this don't work, but if you didn't have a place to run to, I promise you,
You working your ass off.
Your whole being will change. You will turn into a dog.
I told y'all quit y'all job. I told y'all that, man. Anybody want to listen to me?
I got too much kids.
But now, caveat to that is, you got to we put ourselves in a position where we had real physical results in real time and buffers. You know what I mean? So I'm not telling nobody out there to go quit. Don't do that.
No
That's
plan,
not the
no
thing.
nothing. Yeah, I got you.
Prove the concept. Make some money. Oh shit, this shit is working. Okay, then jump if you want to from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, make sure you got something.
Yeah. Just don't quit. I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, I'm learning the hard way.
This next topic, I know it deals with legacy, and the question is legacy about what you leave or what you teach people to build? And I know you guys are, redefining what it means to build a legacy. So, in your opinion, what do y'all think legacy is about? Is it about leaving or teaching people to build?
I think it's what you teach people to build.
Okay.
Because, like I said it before, you can always make the money, but if you make money without having the knowledge about the thing, then there's a potential that you'll lose it. If you have the knowledge about it and you lose it, you can always go and duplicate what you've done. So, teaching and education and knowledge, that's leaving generational. Like, I wish when I was somebody told me this when I was 18.
Facts.
Like, I'll be a beast we'll be somewhere.
Do you feel like you would have received it the same?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's a lot.
There's different stages in life.
As I'm getting older, man,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about what my mom used to tell me about, especially when I was buying all these sneakers. And
I'll tell you this.
I had to learn the hard way, like, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you this, though. If the people that I respected in my environment was doing land investing, then I would be doing land investing. Because you typically mimic and model what's preceded you.
Yeah.
So what broke that? Like, what made you guys shift? Like, what?
Was there a moment in
Yeah.
your lives where y'all like, you know what, we got to take this leap? And,
Yeah, yeah. I come from a long line of blue collar workers, and when your back start hurting, you start thinking, I don't want to work that hard.
Yeah.
It has to be something better out here. You understand what I'm saying? So you start to explore.
For sure.
I mean, you know when something ain't right. You just go on with the flow.
You feel it.
You know
It's in you. You feel it. Yeah, you feel
Every
it.
morning when I get my ass up, I feel it. What you doing?
That's like when you playing ball, you getting too old, you like, your back, I ain't got it in me no more. Like, I got to find something else.
And for me, in my opinion, you got to be pissed off. See, if you're not mad enough, you'll never have what basketball players would call enough intestinal fortitude in order to do something about it. You have to. The energy is the same. It's just the way you shift it. It's the same energy. The same person that's sitting at home clicking, watching TV or whatever the case may be, the person that's on the computer working and doing different things, trying to figure out and find a way for his family, it's the same energy. One person just using it in a way that's productive. The other person knows all of the stats to the games, all of these different things, but it won't do a motherfucking thing for you. It just won't.
So who said Lil Wayne was one of their favorites?
Yeah, I thought
Lil Wayne, one of your favorites, right? So they had an interview about he had said some wild, crazy stuff one time.
I know
about,
you're going to. Yeah.
He definitely.
Trump. It was somebody about one of the presidents.
Yeah.
And it was just a wild statement. And then when they interviewed his daughter, she said, y'all have to understand, my dad lives in a bubble. He don't know what's going on in society. And that's why he's so great at what he does, because his focus is
tunnel
just
vision.
on
Yeah.
his craft. He has tunnel vision. So you have to be a little crazy, and you have to, that's why I said, we're not taught how to focus on anything.
Yeah.
Like, without focus, how can we continuously hit the target? We scatterbrain.
For sure.
We entertain everything that comes our way. For
sure.
So that's why I said who we had to become. Like, I love sports, but I don't know what place the Knicks is. I don't even know who's in the Super Bowl. I just found that out 2 days ago. Because I don't do anything but this these days. All of my attention and focus is here.
But I tell you what this guy said about that. He said, I'm going to watch my team. He said, yeah, that might be your team, but they ain't yours.
That is true.
Promise you.
Like,
Promise you, they will not come to save you.
I don't know you exist. Like,
That's just a fact. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
when you're trying to do something great, like, and if it's worth doing, why isn't all of your attention on that thing?
On that, yeah.
Y'all spit, man. I ain't gonna hold you.
That focus is so key. And being mad and using that energy to do something different. Because remember, like this guy said one time, he said, right now, you may not understand it, but you are setting the example of what generations to come after you are going to actually do. He said, you know why? Habits. Families have patterns. And if you look inside of anybody's family, they have patterns. And most people, 90% from what I see, never deviate from the pattern that's been set inside of the family. And that's why they have this thing called, I forgot what the medical term was. It's called, what is the medical term? It's called, I don't want to chop it up, but I give you what it says. It says that if you don't change, the people that are coming under you are going to do a version of what you did. And not because they're conscious. It's subconscious. They don't even know that they're doing it. They're just mimicking the model what they seen. So as us, especially everybody that got kids and all that, you better perform at your highest level because they're gonna do a version of what you did. That's just what it is.
That's just the facts.
No,
I mean,
you're
it's
right.
hard to beat the environment.
For sure.
Jew and Ace, what's your thoughts on legacy? I think it's something that, is it more something that you leave behind or is something that you teach others to build?
It's crazy because before this conversation, I might have said it's something that you leave behind. But like my boy Ray was saying, you know what I'm saying, that you could leave the money, but if you don't got the knowledge to keep that going, he might lose that money. How you gonna make it back? You know what I'm saying? So it is what you teach your seeds and your their seeds and what they passing on to continue to grow and pass it down to their children and their grandchildren. And that's so I would say is who you teach.
I agree with who you teach. I never I would say at a younger age I was materialistic because I come from so much of a humble beginning. I wanted to prove I had money,
Right.
or I could sit at the table with the other people that looked like they had money. But with coming from a struggle, it's like this shit ain't important. You get what I'm saying? Like I care about who's around me and who I could build around me, so we could build each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it, and my bros know, like, every opportunity I ever got in life, I shared it. Like, I got a job and a career, I put everybody on.
That's a fact. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Everything I did in life, I know this dude since I was probably like 14, 15. I was already working. I made him cut school, come with me, and this place was even hiring. I came with him to work, and they was like, who's him? I was like, oh, can you please work here? Begged him. Right. He worked. He had to come all the way from Harlem to Brooklyn. Yep. That's all. I live to know that I, did something good for my brother. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want nothing back. It's not about wanting nothing back. It's just that right there. That if that's my legacy, for sure, I'm happy when I fucking wake up. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know who that is and who I am as a person. That's me every day. Yeah, for real. Sure.
And one thing, last thing I'm gonna say, for sure.
Appreciate
one thing
that.
I would say about that last topic is I believe it's dual. I think it's both. And the only reason why I say that is because I believe there's power in last names, right? So when those kids are growing up and like, our kids have kids, whatever the case may be, and they say things to plant seeds in them. Don't you know you're a Ahmad? Don't you know you are this? Don't you know you are that? Yeah. Because there's power in seeing what that person has built inside of you, because that is your DNA. That's your bloodline.
And it holds you to a standard.
Yeah, so I believe it's both. I don't think it's just one.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that, because before when I thought about legacy, I was like Ace. I thought about something that you leave behind. Yeah. And now when y'all explained that,
don't get me wrong, like, I would love to.
No, that's fair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but when y'all broke it down, I'm like, I understand where y'all coming from.
Right.
So I think it is both. And I think about my grandfather, and we don't have the best relationship. Not like we beefing. We just never really chopped it up like that.
Right.
But he has done stuff like, he had a house, like he got land now. Like this is stuff that he could pass down that's going to benefit the next generation.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? That's his hard work, like benefiting the next generation. I don't even think he realizes that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But even that something that he worked hard and now passed down to the next generation to make it a little bit easier for us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if he realized that, but that is super important. And we don't have enough inheritance like that in our community, you know, so that.
Do you think that's the standard now, though?
Huh?
Like, do you think that's the standard? Like, your grandfather doing it, that was like the standard. You know what I mean?
Let me jump in on that because it should be the standard. When you look at Jewish community, what do they do for men or boys at 13?
Bar mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
That means becoming a man. So they start handing over and teaching them how to run a business at 13. So they have a formula to it. So they're passing down hard assets along with lessons. So I think both would be, if in a perfect world, I would say both. Because now they're starting off at a higher plateau. They're starting off with a business. They're starting off with a paid off house. So it's not a heavier lift as it's us. We starting off with
that.
Trying to figure.
Most times.
Yeah. Where do we start from? That's the first question. Where they tell you one thing. Go get a job. They don't tell you what job to get, or they tell you go to school. They're not even saying what to go to school for. I don't care. Pick a subject. So we're starting from scratch all the time. It's like a restart. And, you know, it's not supposed to be that
gotta
way.
break these generational curses.
You know what's crazy? I heard this guy say one time, and you know what I'm talking about too. He said one of the main reasons why people have a challenge making money is because they're trying to make money in a world that doesn't exist anymore. When our parents were telling us to go and do that industrial age way, that shit is over.
Nah, for sure.
It's over. You talking about, it is never, think about this, y'all. It has never been this easy in human history. You got a direct-to-consumer relationship with your audience. I don't know if y'all selling merch, you know, whatever the case may be. You're talking about, we can get on a live right now and get all of these people who agree with your message, they resonate with you, and are willing to pay you, and you don't need anybody in the middle. Our ancestors are envious of that, I promise you. Think about that. You can go direct to consumer. There's nobody, you don't need permission to write a book. You write a book, you don't need Barnes and Noble, none of those. Before, there were gatekeepers inside of that shit. That shit don't exist no more. If you can build yourself an audience, that's who you can sell to right there.
So let me ask you this question, though. Why don't most people do it?
Because what's easy to do is easy not to do.
That is true. That is a good question. Man. I don't know why. Like, you know, I think it's the lack of. I was gonna say lack of knowledge, but we don't have. I don't think we got those excuses no more. Like, you know, we got online. You got people like Academy. We got Earn Your Leisure. We got all of
we
these
can't
people,
say
right?
lack of knowledge.
It's
Knowledge is the most easiest thing to find.
It's everywhere.
It's what we started with. It wasn't taught to have discipline and focus, and you wasn't even taught to seek knowledge.
I got a question. This is for all y'all, right? Because, all right, so I got kids, right? And this is a battle I face daily, right? Because you want your kids to grow up and make decide what they want to be when they grow up, right?
Sure.
And I partially think that's our problem in our community. Because we giving them the opportunity to be what they want to be, and they're gonna be what they see somebody else want
to be. Like,
you know what I'm saying? So I think we're wasting. So but like you made a fucking great point when you said our parents told us to be get a city job.
Listen,
garbage man.
I was a sanitation worker for 15 years, bro. That's what I was taught to get. So work on the truck because you get benefits.
Yeah.
You get this. You get that. You can retire at a certain.
Every day I'm yelling at my kids, right? And me and Eli, quick little sub, but you brought up the bar mitzvah. Me and Eli, me and Eli said for my kids that we was gonna come up with a name for a bar mitzvah, but I was saying that at my kids, they have to tell me what they want to be by the time they're 14, and if not, I'll decide for you.
A blacksmith?
Whatever we was gonna call it,
a blacksmith.
I think it's just so we have to be different, but it's like it's hard because you want them to embrace it, but I don't want my kids waking up working for another fucking man. I wake up every morning waking up.
But then if you give them autonomy, then they're gonna want to be a streamer or a TikToker or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't want my kids waking up working for without trying something to earn for themselves.
You see, so here's what I think. I think because I got 3 girls, And I think you can say, there's the saying, do what I say, not as I do. They're going to do what you do.
You do.
Because the words are not going to resonate.
Yeah.
And most parents, they go home and they talk bad about the thing that they do. They don't have anything that they're proud about. So now the kid, that's their reference point of what their parent done. And unconsciously, you're going to do what the environment has been doing. Like, you can't teach what you don't know. So your kids are discounted that success. The biggest thing that we could do for ourselves is become successful. And inherently, they'll be in line to do or have a chance to do the same thing and be able to point at something that has worked for the family.
For sure.
Gotcha.
And that's why they
And if all else fails, I know that worked
Yeah.
for the family. And my father was proud of that. And he put food on the table doing that. If as a sanitation worker, I did sanitation too. My uncles was proud to say, I'm a garbage man.
Yeah.
So that's how the rest of the family became garbage man.
Yeah.
Because that was the highlight
that was the thing.
for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, if y'all bust this open, which I'm sure y'all doing great, if you go home and say, podcasting changed our lives, it's a great chance that your little brother might want to entertain podcasting. But if you go home and say, man, that podcasting ain't nothing, you wasting your time with that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why, a lot of people are talking with no proof. So there's no validity to what they're saying. Because even if you give advice to a child, right? This is me and him always talk about, I go give advice to a child, but the child is smart. They see you're not doing what you're saying. So when they turn around, they know you're lying. Because if you knew all of that, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly
that,
what
for
they
sure.
gonna say, for sure. I can see
For
my
sure.
brother say that.
Do as I say, not as I do.
The last time before we get up out of here,
For sure.
What's one thing black men aren't talking about that they really should be? And this could be anything. It don't got to just be land or investments and stuff like that. To y'all, what's one thing that black men aren't talking about that we really should be?
In my community, I say it all the time. I don't feel like we have enough daily conversations about money. And money is something that we interact with 365 every single day. But why don't we have daily conversations about money? How to earn it, how to keep it, how to grow. That should be a topic of discussion at least one time a day. I grew up in a family that never spoke about money.
A lot of love.
A lot of love, but not about income. How can we make income? And if it's something that we don't even have a conversation about,
right.
we could talk about music, we could talk about sports, we could talk about all of these things, but we don't sit around and have conversations on how to earn money, keep money, and grow money. And it doesn't have to be this astronomical thing, because small increments equal into large deposits.
Right.
So in my community, we tell people, start where you are. If you got $5, start saving it. Save it every single day. If you got $10, if you got $20, and I come to find out we all could afford those small denominations. So why aren't we saving it? $20 a day will get you $7,300 at the end of 1 year. So if you did 20, you did 20, and you did 20, y'all effectively now have $22,000, $23,000 at 1 year that y'all could take, go buy a piece of land, put a tiny home on, rent it out for $1,000 a month. Now that's passive income. And that's off of 1 year. But we don't want to be bad long enough for us to get good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I did all.
Make that shit sound so easy.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Y'all before I did this.
Listen, yo, it's I'm a ditto the same thing that he's saying, yo. That topic right there, it controls every sector of our life outside of spirituality. Every sector of your life.
What's the number one reason of divorce?
Money.
Finances. Yeah.
Finances. Finances. Like you can't have a healthy relationship and your lights off. This shit don't work like that. You know what I mean? You're gonna be fighting in that house. I don't give a damn. You're gonna be fighting in there. So I think that
knock your lights out, like,
so I think that that's one of the most important topics, and even for my family, that wasn't a thing that was actually taught about. And this is a guy that we listen to. He says, he said, well, maybe they didn't know. And the guy said, I don't let nobody off the hook. I want to know how bad they were fucking looking. Because when you said environment is everything. Once you're inside of an environment, if environment is not scaling or growing, typically the whole environment is doing a version of the same. So having those conversations growing, and especially like even with our kids, we show them what we make because I want what we're doing for that to be the norm. Anything under that, it's like, well, what is that?
Yeah.
But if you're not getting that, what's the standard?
Yeah.
Every family has a standard that has to be set from the leaders, which I believe start from us.
Listen, fellas, man, y'all dropped a lot of gems, man.
That's a fact.
I love this interview,
Appreciate
man.
it, appreciate it.
Again, let them know where they can follow you at. I know you got the Acre Boyzz Academy and stuff like that. Let them know where they can, tap in with you guys.
Where do I sign up, man?
Listen, no reality, all platforms, you can find us at Acre Boyzz, 2 Z's. If you're ready to start investing, we do have a community that you can come into the community and start investing. Just reach out. Somebody from our team will definitely respond. And I really want to impart this message into our core audience. Our data states that we cater to, this message resonates mostly with ages from 34 through 70. I really hope that it's some younger people listening into this because that is truly the future. Younger people are creative. They have a way of making things fly. And
They think outside the box.
they think outside the box. So I hope that in this interview you heard something that resonated with you because this is doable for all ages and it's more than enough to go around.
Listen, my final thing is, listen, the old you never qualifies for new results. That's just what it is. If you want something different, you have to become different. If you're at the point where you're happy, that's proof that you don't need to do anything else. But if you're unsatisfied, if you're being honest with yourself, it doesn't have to be land investing. It could be anything. Do something different. Input, control, output all day long.
Listen, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. I hope y'all got some knowledge from
that's
it. They were
right.
dropping a lot of gems. We're going to drop the link in the description to all their social medias, all the websites, so y'all can tap in with them. Make sure y'all cop the merch, man, DailyRapUpCrew.co. Join the Patreon. If y'all on Patreon, listen, y'all got this episode way earlier than the public, man. Y'all on YouTube watching this?
You got these
the
gems,
Patreon, man. Cause we was listen, we got more conversations like this with more people. We hope y'all appreciate these conversations. I know it's different from the women and the craziness that we got all over there, but we just hope that we give y'all some value with these types of conversations, and we see you guys on the next one.
You heard?
Yeah.
Sure. Peace.
Y'all gave me a lot to think about. I'm
yeah.
hey, goddamn. We might have to have an emergency meeting tomorrow. We got to pull up. That was dope, man.
Really good. Yeah. Sure. Appreciate it.
This shit we talk